Hello there. I am the boss of the Zab Lab. You may recognize me as the narrator for these videos. The person besides me is the intern.
Actually, my name's...
We're currently here because Fick and Aetro are occupied.
Crunch, he's one tap! Do not fumble this, I'm trying!
The two of us are here to explain all of the chaos unfolding. Long ago, the channel you're watching right now, ZippityZab, didn't exist. In fact, there was another.
10 years ago, he had a channel known as D Kess Productions, made by Zab and his younger brother Reddy. They soon become fascinated with the Smash Bros. Law community, which is about making Smash movesets for all sorts of characters that never got in.
Throwing their hat in the ring, Zab would create the being that is terrorizing everyone out there right now, D Kess.
D Kess is a self-insert of Zab who ran the self-titled Law, D Kess in D Kess City. Pretty narcissistic if you ask me.
He even made a mech in the shape of his own face, not to mention his other wacky items like the Acme Super Sucker, which can trap ghosts and inhale items, or his modified NES, which traps you in its games and makes you view the world in 8 bits.
A car that can turn into a boat, robotic limbs for whenever he hurts his leg, a giant device that can filter out mean comments on the internet. D Kess's nature as an author insert grants him the ability to essentially create whatever he likes.
I say he wastes this ability. He stole one item from Lawl Nova and made another one Big Chungus. I want to throw up in my mouth.
Well, you see, D Kess's abilities are what made him quite sought after by Null, a malicious being who coerced Kess's fragile ego into creating a subspace emissary in exchange for the fame he desired.
He recreated the entire army, Null planning to use subspace as a way to summon Bill Cipher and turn anyone who dares stop him into trophies. D Kess was a mere pawn in his schemes. Best put when Null had Kess stalled for time and left him to a watery grave in the ocean, fading away as did the channel.
But whereas Zab moved on, somehow D Kess returned, and with it came newfound sense of self. Quite literally. All the strange, wacky abilities D Kess had used over the years suddenly took on a whole new meaning to him. For example, D Kess mimics many different characters and moves, such as Mean Spin or Shoot the Whoop Laser. After his revival, he started weaponizing it, mimicking characters whose whole power sets and even art styles, as well as...
Intern. Well, at first he only did it at Null's discretion. He's since learned to fast forward or rewind time as he wishes, skip through entire sections, or even mess with the video itself in order to take down opponents, as he did when he fought Dolan, who had infinite power that could reshape the universe.
He took advantage of the fact that he seemingly can't die, surviving everything from being cut in half to being blown up to nothingness. He literally cannot die by normal means, though it seems he still feels it.
This inability to die led him entering Alcatraz, a prison harboring Null, in order to put him to rest. Upon finding out that he was a literal dead meme, Kess went crazy, turning into this colossal abomination that took the culmination of more than half a dozen Lulls to defeat.
And these guys are ridiculously busted. The epic smiling face can become a planet-busting meteor. Morshu can survive riding a nuke. Hell, one of the contestants is literally the moon. The fact they all had to unite to defeat D Kess is a horrifying thought, made worse since they didn't even kill him. They had trapped him within a subspace bomb of his own creation, sealing away, but he simply skipped down to other universes, which is why he's here. He wants to take over the ZippityZab expanded universe as revenge for replacing him.
Fortunately, the Zab Lab was able to make use of our contacts and were able to concoct a plan to fight back. Desperate times call for desperate measures after all.
It all started long ago, the beginning of a new millennium. Bob was a child who seemed destined for greatness of some sort, though maybe not as a hero. See, he took to the streets under the name Napalm, a powerful supervillain aiming to get all to bow down to his awesome might. But to stop him, there was a hero, Blitz, an electric-themed superhero who just happened to be Bob's older brother, George.
But Bob had grown too powerful for his home universe, and George wasn't willing to do anything that could seriously hurt him. So their mother decided to make a deal with the very author of their comic, creating a portal that would trap him to another reality, the Mega Man universe.
Or at least a comedic version of said world. Bob was perfectly content with starting from scratch. He even had his armor designed to look like Proto Man's, though it ended up being burnt to gray form due to being blasted by the original guy.
The arm cannon isn't for show either. It's strong enough to wipe out an entire town. And don't forget the special effects, those are crucial.
He has an energy shield that absorbs attacks, a copy of Pro Man's shield, and the devil and angels on his shoulders who can pause time for him if need be. He attempted to restart his villainy with the new equipment, but quickly was taken care of and sent to another alternate universe. But this wouldn't stop him, as he soon received the trans-dimensional portal gun, letting him hop between dimensions as he saw fit. It was even upgraded later to let him travel through time, as well.
I said hush, Intern. Bob would come back and face the main characters once again, and this time, he'd fight fire with fire. Literally! Pyrokinesis is Bob's personal tool of kicking ass, using it for everything from lighting others on fire to forming defensive barriers to even letting him fly.
He had even taken over Dr. Wily's forces for a brief amount of time, upgrading characters like Gravity Man to create black holes or Crystal Man to view a ton of futures at once. And with Wily's instant robot maker, he had millions of copies of these upgraded robot masters as beck and call.
But Bob wasn't a threat just because of these abilities. See, the Bob and George worlds lean heavily on the fourth wall to the point it just kind of fell over. Characters talk directly to the audience, pull up strategy guides for their own source material, and even can tell when the continuity is wrong.
As a title character, he literally cannot die by normal means. Anytime Bob is going to die, a convoluted answer would prevent him from permanently dying, such as when he was sent to a pocket dimension before a meteorite could kill him. His brother was able to actively exploit this on several occasions, so there's no reason Bob couldn't either.
Powerful beings like the author can prevent Bob from using this exploit with their control over the medium. So, Bob decided he would become one, fusing with a helmeted version of the author in order to become Fused Bob, who lacks any clear distinction between his normal form.
Fused Bob will gain all the abilities of the author he fused with, ranging from reverting characters to less powerful forms to manifesting giant dark versions of himself. He's even gone as far as erasing Mega Man from existence, which required the regular author to reverse it and save everything.
And it was at this point George realized Bob had gone too far, and finally decided to fire his blaster to stop Bob. However, it wouldn't go off, as their mother's plan had finally worked. Both brothers would be warped to their home universes, finally continuing their lives as super enemies until Bob was put down for good.
Or at least it would have if they hadn't faked their deaths and all moved to Acapulco to avoid any time paradoxes. Long story.
The plan is to warp Bob here and hope he either kills or at the very least drives off D Kess somewhere else. And we have successfully made contact with someone who can do the trick.
Me alegro de poder ayudaros. Soy Reddy de Wizard, y lo digo en inglés, casi mola más. Y con la ayuda de Dolan, voy a ver si consigo que D Kess deje de destruir mundos. ¡Boletus fungus!
You want it? It's yours, my friend.
Happy to play the part.
You're all puppets, and I have no strings on me.
That's your ultimate attack?
You will not be spared. You will not be saved.
Huh?
I will not die like this. I will not!
You fool. You can't kill what's already dead. I am the king of YTPs. Falcon.
Just as planned, Bob was able to successfully defeat D Kess, hopefully for good.
You could argue D Kess was overall stronger given the characters he fights are casual planet busters, and that Bob was faster given he regularly fights someone who can move at lightning speed. But both were able to destroy their universe's peak and can mess with time to negate speed, not to mention they both had plenty of equipment and gadgets as well as an infinite-sized army to combat each other with.
D Kess has far more versatility in his fourth wall-destroying kit, able to simply delete Bob or turn him into a trophy. But likewise, Bob was able to either stop D Kess in time or seal him away in another dimension, given the subspace bomb keeps D Kess from entering the Lawl world properly.
So given that both of them were relatively equal and had ways around others' immortality, who's getting the victory first?
An important factor about D Kess is that he always rushes in guns blazing. He'll often go straight to fists and gets defeated by opponents that are far weaker than him because he doesn't think through anything. He's also shown to not be very skilled as well, only winning against April Fool's Bob and Bipper in direct confrontations without the use of cheating.
Comparatively, Bob is a card-carrying supervillain who makes active heroes run away in fear, and has outsmarted literal geniuses and even an entire dimension of ultra-smart people. He's much more skilled in direct combat and is much smarter in both intellectual levels and in common sense. So, all it took for Bob to win was to simply be the better fighter between the two.
This fiction fight's winner is...
What the hell have you two been doing this whole time? Me and Aetro been getting our asses beat. You're just sitting in there shooting the shit. Between this, we're having a
here we
marry and
go.
everything. I don't even know what we get paid to do here anymore. Like, genuinely, what is the plan here?